PragerU is the place that holds the knowledge that we need. Left versus right, freedom. 3-minute video from PragerU. Totally digestible, like a snack. A granola bar of PragerU, just for us. Just a little skosh. So this gentleman is going to tell us why we don't like freedoms.
I'm CJ Pearson, and this is Left versus Right.
There we go.
Let's take a look at the issue of personal freedom.
Okay.
Politicians in California...
Can you be a trans person? That's my litmus test. Do you think someone can just fucking be trans? That's personal freedom. No? Oh, okay. Pragola bar? Oh, no.
California have touted their state as a freedom state. While on the...
California has prisons and shit for profit. What? No, fuck you. I don't like California very much either. They're a capitalist hellhole as well. Deeply capitalist. But like, you know, there's some good folks that live there. There's some bad ones too. It's a big place. Hellheim. Yeah, I don't know anyone from California that says we're the freedom state. Me either.
The other end of the country and the other end of the political spectrum, politicians in Florida have called their state the freest state in America. How could it be that
unless you're not a white fucking man, like unless you're queer or something, like hello? Florida is not free. Having lived there, deeply segregated, like all the communities are segregated by wealth, a huge amount. It's a deeply poor place, juxtaposed with super expensive places. So the wealth distribution is crazy. Like when I worked there, I worked for millionaires that bitched about like 50-cent coffees. Like it was just a different world that I grew up in. I grew up in a fucking farm town. Like, wasn't that bad. They were bitching about like gas prices. I don't know. Isn't weed still legal in Florida? How's that more free?
Elected officials who have very different political views and policies both believe their state has the most freedom in America. The answer is they have conflicting visions of freedom and the role of government. To understand freedom, we have to understand that there is...
I am so tired of these sound effects you're doing in this video. It sounds like video game noises. It's deeply patronizing.
A freedom spectrum. Totalitarianism, which is full government control over every aspect of life, is at one end.
Full government control of life. That's totalitarian. So that's what California's doing?
North Korea is the most obvious current example.
Sure.
On the other end is anarchy, which is essentially the absence of government.
So this is not what anarchy looks like. This is what capitalism currently looks like. This is, yeah. So anyway, these are apartments and stuff in capitalist countries. Cool.
No entity around to impose law and order. In societies like this, violence, brute force, and mob rule run rampant.
Oh no, not mob rule. Mob rule. I wonder if America has any experience with mob rule.
Somalia and Haiti are recent examples. Throughout history, people have lived under both extremes, as well as under governments that fall somewhere in between. If you were to ask people on the left and the right if they support the idea of freedom, both sides would say that they do. And in some cases, those on the far left and those on the far right will hold the same positions. For example, you can find people on both the left and the right who favor the legalization of all drugs.
Sure.
But beyond...
I don't think when we tell a right-winger that we want legalization of all drugs, they want it for the same reasons. It's usually capitalist motivations. Right-wingers are like that. Sometimes they're like, we just want freedom, which is good.
On drugs, it is hard to find much agreement about freedom between left and right. One area of clear difference is how they look at freedoms outlined in the Constitution. The left supports restrictions on freedom of speech, such as hate speech.
You literally support restrictions on freedom of expression. I don't think anyone's. Is anyone trying to ban hate speech in the public? Like, is anyone trying to be like, you're banned from saying words? I'm pretty sure that you're banned from harassing people, and specifically on platforms, and not allowing certain things to diffuse through platform usage. I wouldn't say we want like a law necessarily. I think we just want like good practices. Like, it makes a lot of sense not to allow this kind of stuff in like just ugly racist shit all the time. I don't know why I don't understand what the virtue is in allowing that speech to run rampant on sites that like advertisers and other people want to be a part of in a community. I don't know why you would want that, but that's not like a law. So that wouldn't be supporting a restriction. That would be supporting like Twitter TOS or something.
Religious expression in public places, like public schools.
We're going to watch a video. This is hilarious. They brought it up. We're going to watch a video in a second where, not that guy, where Michael Knowles bitches about the Iowa State Capitol allowing Satan worship. Supporting restrictions, on religious freedom. I actually want an expansion of it, but a restriction on the ability for religious institutions to exploit people and harm them.
And gun ownership. The right holds these freedoms as sacred. You should be able to say almost anything.
No lefty wants to ban guns. What they want is like reasonable gun safety for communities.
Of threatening someone's life. Religion is not restricted to private life, and responsible citizens should be able to own guns. The reason for the difference goes back to the recurring theme of this series. The left believes in big government.
You just said we were for... Wait, are we not for anarchy or what? Wait a second. Totalitarian... Anarchy is when big government... I'm an anarchist. I don't think they know who they're arguing with.
And the right believes in limited government.
They don't. They do not believe in limited government. They believe in limited... they believe in the limited access to government. That's big. That's big difference. They want people to have limited access to avenues of power, and they want to consolidate it in a small number of people. And the left wants to flatten that hierarchy out at every level of society. That's the real difference.
In order to maintain power,
You're starting to think, Prager, you might not be totally ideological or rhetorically consistent? Oh, no. Limited for me, but very big for thee.
Go.
Small gov is when we legislate bodies. That's right.
governments must limit the power of the citizen. This is why almost every repressive government...
So it just seems at this point that right-wingers know that this is exactly what they do. Like, they literally are doing this. All of their policies point to this. They're like, Donald Trump should just fucking be able to be president forever. They want this. And so all they have to do is say, okay, so what do we want? All right, that's evil. Tell the people that that's what everybody else wants instead. Surely they'll believe us. And the crazy thing is, did you know that people just believe lies? When people lie to you, sometimes you just believe them. Not you, maybe, but people. They're out here lying. And so there's this presupposed, well, of course they're simply stating the truth. They have no reasons to lie. And then you get dumb but well-meaning people wrapped up in this shit. And now they're just all, their brains are fucked. Great.
Every repressive government of the last 100 years, with a couple of notable exceptions, have been left-wing. The Soviet Union, China, North Korea.
China, North Korea? Would we consider the Soviet Union left-wing? maybe in some ways. Just authoritarianism and the deeply repressive, like, culture. Like, they all wanted to have, like, dominant cultures and, you know, they had these, like, ideas of how individuals ought to act. It wasn't anarchic at all. It was deeply hierarchical. I mean, they were not, like, for the people. Like, North Korea is, like, the furthest right authoritarian place I can think of. I don't know. Is there a educated on the USSR? Oh no. All the left-wing government CIA overthrew so you could tell us this lie? If a country says it's socialist, that means it is. Well, much like this. If they say it is, it must mean that's what it is now.
And Cuba are the best known examples. Let's recap. The left believes government should be the most powerful force in society. And
wow. Wrong and dumb. Wrong and dumb. Who's the left here? This is wrong. This is wrong and stupid.
And shape the behavior of its citizens. For the right, government should be as small as possible, precise.
You don't do this, though. You don't. You increase it. I think they're lying, chat. I think they might be lying.
Precisely in order to maximize the freedom of the individual.
Unless you're queer in any fucking way. You have to be, you can express your freedom in a specific subset of freedoms. Gerald Ford. Henry Ford, maybe? No, it's Henry Ford who said, you can have any color Model T you want as long as it's black.
Where do you stand? I'm CJ Pearson.
Cool. Excellent video. Great job, PragerU. Definitely knowing the things. So their freedom of speech should be impaired. Like, I think just straight up lying about stuff all the time should be curtailed in some way. I don't know how to curtail it, but, like, just constantly lying, just all the time. Just propaganda seems fucked up. Seems unethical to allow in a society. To not be like, that's bullshit. You shouldn't be allowed to just always lie. Professionally. You can lie personally. You can personally lie. I just don't think the profession needs this. It's more like, how do you, I'm trying to figure out the exact words. If you're making bank on lying, that should be illegal. We should just be like, okay, so when you say stuff, how often do you just lie? But then it's like, I mean, how can you even fucking... Then you have this whole thing with, what's even true? And then you're just bogged down in truth argument discourse for 30 years. What's even true, bro? The reality is true. Well, they don't even agree with that, so it doesn't matter. The lie ratio. Yeah. We just have to individually expose each shitter one at a time. Perfect. Great job.